tech index falling down below its 100-day moving average. And I'm not sure if this is a warning or an entry point as reality warns people to put their money elsewhere, buy other stuff outside of U.S. dollar-denominated assets.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the China tech story, Matt. I have been basically this entire time, but glad it's starting to catch your interest. Also, my interest is going back economics data, U.S. retail sales for February coming in 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Remember, in January, it was a blowout, came in at 5.3% growth relative to expectations of just 1.1%. Now, of course, that had to do with the December stimulus. We're in kind of an in-between on stimulus right now, but there's still maybe room for an upside surprise in a market which is focusing on each and every economic data point, how it feeds into that growth and inflation narrative. Certainly some numbers to watch in about 2.5 hours time, Francine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm watching in market data, because I know you sent this really cool story with Elon Musk saying that he was going to put on sale this song, which is kind of cool. I mean, you could for a very modest price of $20 million. So he's actually selling online, and we kind of look at the art world and to really wonder whether this is the kind of the new frontier. But I also want to know, Matt, about electric car vehicles. I mean, is Volkswagen going to be able to do it and kind of be spearheading that movement in Europe?
You know what? It's so cruel to bait me with an NFT discussion and then bring me back to cars. Now, I love cars. I talked to the CEO of Volkswagen this morning. They should start to sell NFTs connected to the idea of electric cars. I'm going to talk to the CEO of BMW tomorrow, so there's a lot coming up on the car front.
Okay, an NFT linked to electric cars. I feel like this is going to be a main story tomorrow. Coming up a little bit later today, also a conversation with the Santander Executive Chair, Anna Boutin, on equality in finance. This is Bloomberg.
right now is this unfolding growth surprise, which I don't think we have sort of fully baked into numbers.
We're going to get this powerful cocktail of a healthier economy and an economy that's fiscally stimulated.
I would emphasize a lot of that as a burst of growth. So we're going to transition from fiscal support to fiscal drag very quickly.
For the most part, we've gotten price stability, and we've gotten exactly what central banks wanted, which is low and stable inflation expectations.
Inflation we expect to be messy. That's ultimately going to keep the Fed on the sidelines.
This is Bloomberg Surveillance with Tom Keene, Jonathan Ferro, and Lisa Abramowitz.
You can smell the capitulation from New York City for our audience worldwide. Good morning, good morning. This is Bloomberg Surveillance alongside Tom Keene and Lisa Abramowitz. I'm Jonathan Ferro. Equity futures just off all-time highs. But Thomas, the theme of the last several weeks, higher forecasts for growth, for yields as well.
Well, readjustments as Global Wall Street tunes into us on radio and TV. It's about what research is publishing. Hooper and Folkerts, Landau at Deutsche Bank, John, reset the bar 2 to 2.25%. But the key phrase, John, is this summer. That is like tomorrow.
225 over at Deutsche Bank, Tom, and 195 over at JP Morgan, and maybe growth piss in what? Q2. What interests me at this point are the strategies that are starting to lean the other way. Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson on small caps, who went long in April of last year, and now he's telling investors to maybe reduce their position. And Tom, that's where I think things get a little bit more interesting. Yields high, yes. Growth forecasts high, yes. But has that story peaked, or is it peaking in the next month or so?
Well, that's the game of Wall Street, which keeps people on the bid and on the yes. John, I look up transitory on Merriam-Webster, and the big bet of transitory inflation and transitory angst. Merriam-Webster quotes John Cochran of the University of Chicago as a use of transitory. That's pretty impressive. I would say that's a more recent word.
I imagine we'll hear a lot more of that tomorrow, Lisa, in the news conference.
Transitory. It's Chicago's fault, Lisa.
Yeah, well, yeah. I would argue that we are going to be hearing a lot of that. How is the Fed going to parse through the economic boom while also maintaining easy money policies? I will say, I think it's interesting, John, the point you bring up, which is where are we in the cycle? And you've raised this question, but really the discussion about from Morgan Stanley about perhaps fading the small cap trade really speaks to that. If you're following the monetary stimulus, if you're following the fiscal stimulus, have we already gotten the bulk of that? And is that behind in the United States?
How quickly does this cycle move will be a theme of this program as well. Quick is the short answer. From New York this morning, good morning. Here's the price action this Tuesday morning. Shaping up as follows. We pull back just a little bit from all-time highs on the S&P 500, down 1 single point. In a bond market, your 10-year 159.86, just in and around 160, stable. Muted price action in foreign exchange as well, Lisa. Euro dollar 119.29.
Yeah, kind of a stasis as people try to figure out where we are in the cycle, where the European Union's going to come in when it comes to the vaccines, and then the monetary impulse in response. In the U.S., 8:30 a.m. Tom, you have explained this very well, that this possibly is more important than the jobs report. Yep. U.S. retail sales for the month of February, we're actually expecting things to decline, and this comes on the heels of some weather that was definitely disruptive. And it also comes after an incredible upward surprise in January of more than 5%. The key question is, when do we start to see those stimulus checks bear into the economy and in force? Then at 10 a.m., I'm watching this closely because it pairs both the supply chain issues that we've seen throughout manufacturing, throughout the world, frankly, with this goal to bring manufacturing back to the United States. The Senate Finance Committee is having a hearing on the effect of the tax code on manufacturing. We could add into that perhaps some political posturing when it comes to how to pay for the additional stimulus plan for later in the year. And then at 1 p.m., Tom Keene is all over this. Bond auctions, 20-year treasuries are going to be sold.
Another one?
$24 billion.
It just never ends.
Yes, it never ends. But John, I think it'll be key to watch the foreign involvement, the other independent parties. We've got the TIC data yesterday, which actually showed that China increased their holdings of treasuries to the highest since 2019. So foreigners are buying, despite some of the concerns about higher inflation as well as the deeper.
I mean, Lisa, in the Derby, John and I closed down a bar there Saturday afternoon as the tots were taken out by Arsenal. But other than that, the first thing John said to me over the weekend was the buzz of Soho. John, we heard that yesterday from Tom Colicchio, the wonderful restaurateur. We heard that after he went off to one of your other properties, and he was heated about the buzz in restaurants. John, that's as good as any indication we'll get from retail sales.
People are not waiting for the president to tell them when they can see their friends, Tom. Let's be clear about that. Soho was buzzing. New York City was buzzing. Do you know where there was not a buzz? Across Europe, Tom. The UK's had a great vaccine rollout. The UK's still shut down. Europe's got some real problems